Have you ever found inspiration from a scrapbook sketch, only to veer off course and end up with a project that bears no resemblance to the initial design? Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here with another sketch-inspired scrapbook page. Today, I'm going to show you my take on the March Hip Kit Challenge and share some ways that you can participate in the fun. On my desk, I have the March main kit from Hip Kit Club. This collection is packed full of lovely spring patterns, colors, and prints with a slight retro vibe. There is also an adorable set of tags that I'll be using on my scrapbook page today. In addition to the pattern papers, the kit includes puffy alpha stickers, epoxy heart stickers, cardstock ephemera, large chipboard titles, and color rub-ons. If you wish to recreate this scrapbook layout, I have provided you with a supply list in the description below. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was inspired by the March challenge. Let me pop that right onto the screen. This is one of the sketches I designed for the Hip Kit Facebook group. Each month, we host 2 challenges that you can participate in and submit your projects for a chance to win a $25 voucher to the Hip Kit shop. In the description below, I'll add a link to the group so that you can join the fun. If you have watched any of my videos, you know that I like to challenge myself and find new ways to use scrapbook sketches. Today, I'm going to rotate the sketch and explain which elements are inspiring me. I really like the circle shape behind the photos, so I decided to cut a geometric overlay with my Cricut. This is one of the new cut files on the HipKit site. I trimmed a portion of this off so that I can lay the paper strips over here, just like the sketch. I'm going to lay a piece of Motivate pattern paper along the edge and a soft polka dot product strip from the Patience Pink cardstock. I'm using liquid adhesive to hold these in place so that I can add some stitching later. In the sketch, there are 2 vertical photos with a pair of horizontal tags that create a grounding strip. When I opened the paper pack, I knew right away that I wanted to use the tags on my layout. I also have a vertical photo, but since I rotated the sketch, I'm going to place these tags in a line behind that photo to create the grounding strip. I understand that this may not resemble that original sketch, but that's the beauty of scrapbook sketches. You have the flexibility to follow them as they are or draw inspiration from specific elements in the sketch and add your own creative flair. My photo has been backed with Patience Pink cardstock to help it stand out, and I've cut one of the tags in 2 to make the frame a little bit bolder. I'm going to add more to this area of the page here in a moment. I want to focus on recreating the row of stripes that are in that sketch. Initially, I thought that I would bring in the new paint swish stamps, but in the photo, my daughter is wearing a tulle skirt, and that calls for a more airy feel. This is where I'm going to go off script and recreate the stripes with flowers. These lovely floral bits were cut using the new Floral and Fronds metal die. To give them a soft, airy feel, I added color to the pieces with watercolor paints. As I put these in place, let me show you how I made them. Watercolors are one of my preferred mediums, and they were ideal for the project that I'm working on. I'm going to give you a brief overview of my coloring technique, but feel free to ask any questions or request a more detailed explanation in the comments. To start, I placed the tag pattern on my desk and used it as a reference for my color blending. I didn't want this part of the video to take forever, so I'm not going to show the entire mixing process, but essentially it entails combining various hues in my mini paint palettes to match the colors on that pattern paper. Once the colors were mixed, I brushed the paint onto a piece of wet mixed media paper. This is what I'll be cutting those florals and frond pieces from. I have found that cutting dies from painted watercolor paper yields better results. If you paint the die cuts after cutting them, the water can cause the paper to expand and you lose the intricate details created with the dies. As you can see, those color stripes were not meticulously aligned. I checked the width of the dies to make sure they were large enough and simply applied the colors using a flat watercolor brush. There were no fancy painting techniques involved in this process. The paper and paint need to be completely dry before you cut the florals and fronds with the die cutting machine. Here's a quick view of the shapes that I'm using on my page. I'm going to bring back the tags so that you can see the color palette I used. Even though some of the paints lightened quite a bit, I did a pretty decent job getting those colors to match, and they do have that soft, airy feel that I wanted to bring to the page. I'm going to assemble the flowers using some liquid adhesive. It's difficult to see on camera, but there are 2 layers of pink flowers and a white center. These 3 pieces are designed to layer together, but of course, you can use them however you wish. As I finish assembling these pieces, I want you to take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Your support means a lot, and subscribing will ensure that you never miss out on new uploads or community posts. It's also helpful to me when you tap that thumbs up icon or leave a comment. This lets me know that you're enjoying these projects and techniques taught on this channel. Now that the assembly is complete, I'm going to place the flowers along the edges of my page. Remember, this design was inspired by the stripes in the sketch. I'm going to try to lay these out in a similar fashion with stripes of color along the edge. I laid the soft blue and green stems down first, then layered the tulip pieces over the top with some leaves. I popped these up on foam tape to give it a little dimension. The blue flowers were clustered in bundles of small leaf pieces. A few of these were also placed on foam tape and others were glued in place. I went ahead and finished the flowers off camera and added some embroidery stitches to the left side of the layout and to the tag. To finish this page, I'm going to bring in a few items around my photo. With the ViewMaster die, I've cut some pattern paper to add to the photo frame. I'm going to tuck this in place along with a few leftover floral die cuts. To match the ViewMaster circle, I'm going to add this die cut at the lower part of my layout. I also want to bring in some of this blue color to this side of my page. In the sketch, the title sits over these 2 paper strips, so I'll replicate that with a small foam sticker title. Below that, I'm adding a yellow die cut phrase that says "Colorful Blur of Goodness." Since I added more color to my page in that title area, I need to bring some color near the photo so that it remains the focus of the page. I'm going to add a few puffy flower stickers from the embellishment kit. And then I'm going to finish this off with a small phrase die cut at the top. It's amazing how the creative brain works, isn't it? Sometimes a simple sketch or idea can serve as the spark that ignites the whole creation. Let's bring that challenge sketch back so that I can share how I was inspired. I wanted to replicate the circle shapes, paper strips, tags, and stripes. I decided to rotate the sketch, use the tags as backers for my photo, and add more circles to the page with this overlay cut file. To imitate the look of stripes, I brought in florals. This is a unique approach that allowed me to give this page a soft, airy feel, like the tulle skirt in the photo. I layered my title near the paper strips, added a circle near the photo, and finished it off with a tab at the top. Most of the items I use today are part of the March main kit from Hip Kit Club. If you're a member of the Hip Kit Club, you save $5 on the main kit and 15% on coordinating items, which can ship free with your main kit. If you'd like to learn more, I've added details in the description below. Don't forget to head over to the Hip Kit Facebook group and join this month's challenge for a chance to win a $25 voucher to the Hip Kit site. For those of you who are already members of the group, don't forget to add your entries to the comments of the challenge post before April 30th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's only one submission per person, and layouts cannot be submitted to multiple Hip Kit challenges. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you would like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about the project or supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.